Relationships with one another. To develop a mature church that exhibits faith, hope, and love, we must encourage all believers to participate in building up one another. Here's Gene to explain.
And here the Apostle Paul really moves in to this theme in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, beginning in verse 12. Let me share that passage with you. First, the Thessalonians were to respect and listen to those who were their spiritual leaders. Paul addresses that in 1 Thessalonians 5, 12. Now we ask you, brothers, to give recognition to those who labor among you and lead you in the Lord and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love because of their work. Be at peace among yourselves. Now here, we don't know who these leaders were. He doesn't identify them, but basically they were leaders that were appointed, and they were a part of the body, and the rest of the body were to respond to their encouragement, to their teaching, to encourage them, and to be, respond to them. Now, he gets very specific after this. I call this exhortation instructions. In addition to listening to those who are over them and teaching them and admonishing them, secondly, all believers in Thessalonica were to participate in teaching and admonishing one another, which we read in Colossians. More specifically, they were to warn those who were lazy. This is right out of the text. Comfort the discouraged. They were all to be involved in that. Help the weak. Be patient with everyone. Never repay evil for evil. Pursue what is good for one another and for all. In other words, everyone in that church was to participate in building up each other and meeting special needs. And so I leave you with this question. Looking at these specific functions just enumerated, what would you consider the area where you could make the greatest contribution? Let me just bring those statements up again. What would you identify with in terms of just yourself? You don't have to speak out loud, but just in your own heart. What do you identify the most? Warn those who were lazy? Well, that's a challenge. Obviously, it would be those who were mature enough to be able to do that. Comfort the discouraged. A lot of encouragers in this room. I know who you are. Help the weak. A lot of you here that can do that. Be patient with everyone. Never repay evil for evil. Hopefully there's no one in this room that would ever do that. Pursue what is good for one another and for all. Well, as you think about that, I'm sure that some of you could identify with certain aspects of how you can be used within the body of Christ in a very special way.